Hey everyone, Pastor Chris here at the church building. This is the weekday, drop off my kids at school, have a chance to come here to do some office work before having another helping out at my kids' school, serving hot lunch. As I was walking through this short, small block, I just saw certain things on the street and made me think about a Bible story, one that I had shared in devotion with the children. It talked about the time when Jesus was at a party, dinner party, and certain teachers of the law came to talk to him, challenge him in certain ways. And they asked, he asked, what is the greatest commandment? This Pharisee asked Jesus, and Jesus said, what do you think it is? And the Pharisee said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And he said, that is right. And he also said, love your neighbor as yourself. Then the Pharisee was not satisfied, and he decided to challenge Jesus and said, well, who then is my neighbor? And therefore Jesus told this parable of what we call known as the Good Samaritan. And we know this well. There's one time a Samaritan a traveler going away to do business down to Jericho. And he was attacked by robbers and left to die on the side of the road. And people had walked by. There was the priest. Was the priest first? Or was it the Levite? I need to look again. But people saw things on the side of the road and saw a person there and decided to move on. And finally came to a Samaritan who was looking at this man beaten along the road, and he stopped. And he decided to... I'm being distracted here. I'm trying to pick this up and not get my hands over... I'll probably wear gloves and come back to this. So as you see here, I'm picking up litter on the street. And it made me think of the storefront that we have here on Noriega Street. These trees, they're meant to be taken care of, not our responsibility, because there's another organization in San Francisco which does this. What really caught my eye was actually just all the debris and garbage on the street. And so yes, it made me think about the parable about the Good Samaritan. What are we willing to walk by as we're doing our business here on Noriega? What is our business? Is it people who show up through our doors, then we take care of them? Or do we pay attention also to what's going on the streets and the things here? Does God want us to take care of the neighborhood, take care of the things we see on the street, or just those who cross into our safe places? And it's quite challenging to think about that as a disciple of Jesus. But I do feel in a certain way we ought to take care of this neighborhood because God has placed us here. So as you kind of consider the parable of this Good Samaritan, maybe it's people, maybe it's things also which we need to attend to in this neighborhood. So I hope that sparks your mind as you think of the things that you're willing to walk by as you go about your daily business. And may the Lord give you opportunity to also think well to who else and what else God might place upon your path that you can not just walk by, but also pause and attend to. Well, I try to get most of the litter off the street, at least around the bushes. What do I have next? Well, I'm thinking about trying to pick up all of these plastic scrap bits. There's something probably fell off a truck and it's been left on the street for a while, and I thought maybe think about what's the extra mile. What is your extra mile when Christ tells you to do certain things or to follow him faithfully? You can see just the car just parked and just rolled over right there, so it ain't going anywhere. A pastoral assistant had walked into the office and told me, the street cleaner had done several times, but it has been picked up, so it's going to be here for a while until somebody does something about it. And it challenged me to think about, well, what am I going to do about it? Is this the extra mile which not even a mile, but you know what it means. Just like the extra stuff that we do, that's practically none of our business. Someone else can take care of it, but could we take care of it? And so I hope to be able to pick up some of this stuff safely, and because it's littered all across from here down to our driveway. Well, this is how far I made it down the block from picking up all the plastic scraps. It's the best I can do, all the big pieces. There might be some smaller ones on the road, but we'll see if the cars clear out, if we can pick up a bit more. So it was cool. I felt good, got my daily sweat and my squats from getting almost to the middle of the road on Noriega Street. So I hope that this makes it a little better for ourselves and for our neighbors in the Noriega community. Picking up the plastic off the street was an interesting experience. I'm glad the drivers were gracious to give me space in their oncoming. Then they make way to make sure I don't accidentally walk out more in front of them. There are actually a lot of pieces on the road, in small pieces too, aside from the big ones. I did have this kind of like existential moment to say, oh, would people think I'm the guilty, responsible person, try to make up for it, clean up after my own mess. But for us as believers, it doesn't matter like who is responsible. It's who's going to do something about it. So that presenting question, what's worth stopping for? It was neat. I actually did have one interaction. One person parked in front of our driveway strip. He actually opened up his car, peeked out, and said, "Hey, do you want to move the car for you?" I said, "No, it's all good. Just doing what I can." All right. So I think it was neat. Our witness, and testimony. It's by words and also by deeds. And so it made me kind of think about the story people usually tell about identity and purpose. For example, Bill Gates, if he sees $1 on the road or a nickel on the road, he's not going to pause to pick it up because he knows that if he can make his way to his next meeting, he can make millions. That's not the case, for us. When we think about who's willing to stop, when we think of when Jesus told this parable about the Good Samaritan, who is my neighbor, or I hope to extend that to think about what is the thing which may be placed in front of you, which you could do too, to make this a better place or community or relationship. Jesus stopped, he stooped, and he picked us up. And I think that's something which we can treasure as we go about our day. What are we willing to stop for? Who are we willing to stop for? And may that guide you to new discoveries as you think about, how best to spend your time and about who you are. You are a beloved child in God's kingdom, and this is kingdom, even though we may not see it, but it is there spiritually. It's brought by Christ ruling in our hearts and allowing us to live as his free people. So may you use your presence wisely and joyfully as you go about your day. Blessings.